Welcome back to the Movie Draft House. I'm your host, Mark, and that's host Jeff over there.
Hi, Mark. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I am well. How are you today, sir? I'm a little worried about how this episode's gonna go because you've tipped your hand a bit, and it seems that this may not be your favorite movie.
You know, before we get into it, please tell them this is, you know, we're creeping up. We only got one left. What the theme is this year and what we watched this week.
All right. So the theme this year is
We've gone 51 weeks. 51 weeks.
1 degree of separation. Which means that the movie we watched previously will have something in common with this week's film, be it an actor, writer, director, that sort of thing. So last week we watched The Dark Knight, which starred Michael Jai White in a huge role. He was one of the biggest parts of the entire film, and that's why I selected him for this week's film, Black Dynamite, which came out in 2009. It runs for about an hour and a half, nice and breezy. It also stars Arsenio Hall, Tommy Davidson, and a host of others, as well as some fun cameos if you keep an eye out. It is a comedy, and it is a delight to watch. Correct?
So let me ask you, why do you like this movie so much?
Because it's funny, and it's a spoof of like classic films. It's a slapstick comedy, which don't come out that often anymore. And I think that some of the lines in this movie are so great. Like, my mommy says my daddy's name is Black Dynamite. That's funny shit.
So you know I don't like these type of movies. And
I know you have something in your butt that the doctor needs to go find and remove. That's what I know.
I'm just not this slapstick spoof movie enjoyer, I guess. I don't know. Like, okay, all right, we're gonna dive. There's layers here to my
Layers.
dislike
Just your
for anything
cold-hearted
like this.
Son of a gun. That's why.
So, film. All right, you know this is because you've watched a lot of older films. And some by choice, some because you made a choice to do a podcast that led you to.
Nobody forces me to watch shitty old movies.
Right. But you've watched good old movies, right?
Yes.
There are, and I've watched them too. One was for another podcast that you've done, and Dial M for Murder blew me away. It's still one of my favorite movies.
Ooh, really?
Yes, I enjoyed that movie immensely.
It's a great film.
And it is a great film, and it shows you that great films do exist beyond what we just, our lifetime, right?
No shit. That's a no shit thing. You didn't need Dial In for Murder to tell you that, but I guess you did. But that's no shit
because hold on. People that digest content, right? And in today's age, content is ever changing. There's tons of new content every single day for a person to consume. And so it is hard for anybody, to go back to, say, the 70s. Right? And watch a movie from the 70s and largely find that era of filmmaking enjoyable. Just simply because they didn't have the techniques today that they do today. They don't have the equipment and the technology. And so it is hard for someone I'm putting
You.
me in parentheses here.
You specifically.
To enjoy something that is a lesser quality of film. And I understand that this movie was not made in the 70s. I understand that, right?
Yeah, because that would be a number one, like a big fucking blunder on your
A
part.
severe oversight, right? But this movie is crafted. It was made in 2009, so we're coming up on 15 years ago, 16. Holy shit! So like it's crafted to feel like a movie that's made for the same, and it very much does. It very much feels like a 70s film, and I've seen my share of movies that have been made that were made in the 70s, and some of them are fine, but a large number of them are trash, and it's simply because the techniques of acting and movie making and all that just didn't exist that they do today, and weren't taken as seriously, I think. But
I want you to go find. I heard you liked on Twitter or wherever the hell you do things now, and talk to this man. Talk to him.
yes,
There
were
5
there-
years. I haven't gotten through to him. There's nothing I can do.
but like
Nothing I
so
can do.
you take a movie that's made because Michael Jai White wrote this film, right? Or he's credited as a writer, right?
Yeah.
He didn't direct it, but I'm sure he had a large hand into the direction of this movie. So I don't know who Scott Sanders is, but Michael Jai White has been around long enough, and I'm sure he's a film connoisseur of some sort. Because if he wasn't, I don't think this movie would have been made. And it's just hard for me to be like, yeah, man, this movie was... Now, I kid you not, I saw this movie was an hour and 20 minutes, and I was like, thank you, Jesus. And it did not feel at all long. It was a breezy watch. It's just... I struggled to get behind the what is this story? What is happening? I enjoyed the ending. The last 10 minutes of the movie was great. I enjoyed Black Dynamite, nunchucking Richard Nixon in the face and jumping out of a helicopter and getting shot at.
Poor green corn.
It's like and we have talked about this almost ad nauseum about these types of movies and why I don't enjoy them, even though there are funny pieces in this movie. I will, yes. Little Richard, that's a good bit. There's funny moments, but I just struggle. I've struggled behind watching something that's grainy like this and the effects,
God,
and
the
I'm not a big comedy. I'm not a big comedy fan either. Like on
He
film,
doesn't
I'm
like
just not.
laughing. He doesn't like being funny.
So when I watch and for the life of me, this has a 7.4 on IMDb. It's got like an 80-something% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, because most people
And I just
have
don't-
hearts.
I don't understand it.
I don't either. I am
and-
baffled right now.
it's just so hard. It's hard for me to be like, yes, let me go by choice and watch this movie when there's a ton of other shit that I could watch that are better made.
That's all wrong. Oh my God. You said, so I know for a fact you watched the movie Begonia.
I did.
Right. Was that better made?
Better made? Yes.
Oh, please.
Is it a good movie? No.
Eat out of my...
Nah, I mean,
Jeez.
it is. It's so films like Black Dynamite. We've watched a handful of other films like this that are very slapsticky and all that. And while there's funny moments in those films that we've watched, again, and I think I've been pretty consistent, is that even though I can laugh and like pieces in these films, I don't enjoy them, is because they're just not my cup of tea. And it's like you in a wartime movie, right?
I mean,
You know,
that is true. However, I have seen wartime movies that I do like. There are exceptions.
yeah. This is not an exception for me.
Ugh, this pains me.
I think the
so
other, what was
funny.
the last slapstick movie we watched?
Remember?
It's probably not weird. It wasn't Weird Science. It was the Steve Martin movie from the 70s.
Oh, The Lonely Guy.
The Lonely Guy.
Movie.
Very slapsticky, but enjoyable. Enjoyable slapstick is because I guess I knew what I was getting before going in. Like this movie, I'd never seen this movie. I'd never seen Lonely Guy either before we watched it. But I knew Steve Martin, a comedian. You were watching a comedy. With this one, I did not know anything about this movie. I went and looked at the synopsis on IMDb, and it doesn't tell me shit about like what type of movie this is. And
It says parody, action, comedy, right there at the top. But go
I'm
ahead.
not looking at like the genre of movie, but and I wonder if that says that on my phone when I look at an IMDb.
Oh, maybe.
Anyways,
not. I can't say for that, but
I just like, and I get it. This is your type of movie, and I really am not trying to shit on a favorite movie of yours, because
man, here's what I don't get. Like, you were kinder to Silence of the Hams, which is not a good movie.
No, that's not. But
That's
it's a
horrible.
slapstick
And
too.
you
Okay,
just were
yeah.
like, oh well, it's just not for me. Okay, that movie you should have been ripping into, because even though I love it, I admit that movie is not funny. There is it's bad, but it's a childhood favorite. This
Yeah.
movie is funny and clever, and like there's so many great bits that I don't want to sit and quote them all, but I mean the whole thing is about Richard Nixon has set up a malt liquor beverage to shrink black men's penises.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
I mean, yeah, on its face, that's
brilliant.
a wild synopsis that would lend to being pretty funny.
It is pretty funny. It is like all the time. Like the first scene with Black Dynamite, there's 3 women, and he's sleeping with them all, and they're like, "Black Dynamite, come back to bed." And he's like, "What? You're gonna wake up the other hoes?" And there's like 3 other women. My daddy's name's. My mama says my daddy's name's Black Dynamite. That's a fucking great line. Hush up, girls. Lots of guys have that name. Interrupt. You seem like the type of guy who interrupts someone when they're doing their kung fu. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah. I mean, listen. I am not trying to shit on something you
I'm
enjoy. I
declaring
don't want to.
war on
I don't want
everyone
to.
who sell drugs in the community. But Black Dynamite, I sell drugs in the community. Shit's good. Fucking.
It's like one big long SNL sketch. It is. It really is. It's one big SNL sketch, and it feels that way. Other than the 70s style of filmmaking, right? And so like that, the props and the makeup and like when the kung fu guy's his head's on fire. I mean, the helicopter exploding.
Cream corn.
It is a very good homage
You
to
like the part where Toothpick is like talking about, when we're done here, Black Dynamite, this is my wife, my baby boy. We're gonna we're gonna get a house, we're gonna get out of the game, we're gonna live a life, and then he immediately gets killed.
Yes, I mean that seems to happen not often, but like
That was
in
what-
like these moments.
Like, I like where the movie derails completely because he finds out that an orphan had OD'd on drugs, and so the whole movie just derails, and the plot to find out what happened to his brother is he just doesn't care anymore for like 20 minutes, so he cleans up the street of drugs. Good shit.
I think the funny, not the funniest part, but like when he gets into the White House and he's like right outside the bathroom or whatever room he goes into, and he's kneeling down, he's like thumbing through his backpack or whatever, and he gets his clothes out and he goes into the bathroom. I was like, why wouldn't you just do that in the bathroom? Why did you do it outside of the bathroom in the hall? Anyway, yes, that was
that you thought was good.
that was
that's good.
That was comical. That was
That's
comical to
good.
me.
Oh,
No, but like I thought the the last 10 minutes of this movie were bonkers and enjoyable. Like that was probably the most enjoyment I got out of this movie is when it ended. No, I'm just kidding. But like the last 10 minutes where he fights, Dick Nixon and it's I mean there are clever parts to this movie. There are funny moments to this movie. The several close-ups we get to the little Dick.
you only get one close-up to the little Dick.
No, you get multiple close-ups.
well,
go
it's
back
like
and
within
watch the
one
little
moment.
Dick. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one scene, but you
Yeah,
get
okay.
you get a lot of close-up. But anyways,
You didn't like
there
the
are-
scene
there
where
are those moments.
where they decode Mars is the Greek god of war. Like, and they have the whole round table of them
Yes.
knowing all this
Yes.
shit. This is good stuff, man.
I'm not saying that like there aren't moments in this film that are funny or clever. I'm just saying like this is not a type of movie that I enjoy, and I really didn't enjoy it that much. It's something that I just like. Some people really like romantic thrillers. And then there's some people that like space thrillers. And then there's some people that like slapstick comedy. And, it's no fault of anybody's whether they don't like those type of movies.
Debatable.
But and back in 2009, I think there was a good chunk of slapstick parody
As someone who
type
doesn't
films.
watch comedy, I'll tell you whether there was a good chunk, and there was.
Well, I mean, you had
not.
the scary movie.
That was in 2009.
It was in the 2000s. The scary movie franchise. You had the Valentine's Day parody
What?
film.
Now you're just making shit up.
There was a lot of different movie 43 or whatever the fuck that movie was
God.
called.
See, those are things that I would watch. I'm talking about good movies.
Oh, I'm saying that
like
when this
Dynamite.
movie was made, parodies were still being made, and we really don't get parody films all that often anymore. If I don't even remember the last time a parody film was made. Well, no, I don't know. What's the remake for The Naked Gun?
The Naked Gun. But it's not really a
the-
parody.
It's not.
Like,
But The Naked Gun was kind of parody, like the original.
I mean, no. Well, I mean, they're both slapstick, but what are they parody? Like, maybe I guess so. I think that's semantics, but that's fine. Yeah, Naked Gun, which is a great movie.
And the remake was really good. I enjoyed that. Like, so like it's just different, I guess. I don't know. I can't really explain. I can explain why I don't like these movies, but I can't explain why I found enjoyment for The Lonely Guy more over this one, or why I like The Naked Gun more than this. I mean, I don't know. And I really think it boils down to the era of film that that Black Dynamite takes place in.
Negative expectations. Because I think you did.
Expectations?
I think you were like, this is going to suck. Jeff has fucked me again. Here we go. And
I mean,
you just got what you were looking for.
No, I mean, I went into, like, I go into things pretty open-minded once I'm sitting down and watching it. And, like, I know last week I hemmed and hawed over this bullshit, but...
Last week was your movie. Right, yeah.
Well, you chose this movie. And so, but when I sit down and watch it, I'm trying to give it, my undivided attention, full, no biases, or, I'm trying to keep my biases, from impacting my enjoyment out of it. And I think I did, is because I still found myself chuckling over different scenes and, kind of glued into the last 20% of this movie. So I just don't like these types of movies. That's really all I can say about why I did not enjoy this. Is because it's a genre of film that I already don't enjoy, and it's it's replicated an era of film that produced a lot of shitty movies.
Oh, and so it's like, this is where it really pisses me off, because I made a lot of shitty movies. How many movies from the 70s have you actually watched?
I don't need to.
See? Wrong. Fucking wrong.
I don't need to go back and watch a full filmography from the 70s. You don't need to
watch a full filmography. I said how many. I didn't say have you watched them all.
I don't know how many films from the 70s
that have you seen
that I've watched. I don't know. I don't know. Over my lifetime, I don't know.
No.
Yes. No, I think I have.
You think you've seen Rosemary's Baby?
Well, let me look. Let me think. Rosemary's Baby. That's a 60s film.
Is it 60s? Regardless.
Yeah.
You would probably say the same shit about the 60s.
No, I don't think I've seen that movie.
Logan's Run.
I've seen Logan's Run.
Okay. That's impressive. I know you've seen Alien.
I don't know if it was by choice.
Well,
I have seen Alien.
Alien's a good-ass movie. I'm just picking movies from the 70s now.
I've seen Jaws. I've seen The Godfather. I've seen Apocalypse Now. I've seen Star Wars. I've seen Alien.
Oh.
I've seen the original Superman.
Are those
I've
shitty
seen
movies?
Grease. I've seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Are those shitty movies?
All right, let's go back. Grease is a shitty movie. I didn't really enjoy Apocalypse Now.
I
don't know if it's a shitty movie, but I didn't.
It's a war movie. You're not going to get an argument from me.
Rocky was fine. I like the fight scenes in it. I didn't like Blazing Saddles.
It's slapstick comedy.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy Close Encounters. I just didn't. Taxi Driver was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm hearing is a very similar mix of quality to the stuff you review now.
Yes. So like these movies that I've named,
you watched The Favorite, which is the same director, and you like The Favorite because I like The Favorite, but you didn't like
The Favorite. Yeah.
And like if you go through a lot of this modern shit, you're about the same consistency. Because you named some absolute bangers from the 70s. And there's trash in the 70s, right? Just like any other era.
I think more of what I'm getting at is there's more to consume now to where
Doesn't make
in the 70s, you knew, like, there weren't as many good movies in the 70s. It's because there just weren't as many big time directors, and movie studios didn't put out as many movies as they do today. And so you knew when you were getting a good movie well ahead of time. And because a movie a production company threw all of their weight behind it, they pushed it out to the masses. Now fucking good movies, which we're going to watch one in January, gets buried on Netflix with no fanfare and turns out to be one of my favorite movies of the year. And it's probably going to get nominated for an Oscar.
For sure.
Right. But that's what I'm saying is that, like,
a saturation of stuff out there. And so I would actually argue from a percentage perspective that 70s and 80s and pre-streaming, percentage-wise, we had much more quality come out because they didn't release as much crap. Now they just shit out everything that anyone thinks of.
Well, percentage-wise, yes, you're probably correct. Is that because there weren't as many films released?
There are great movies in the 70s, and you shouldn't write off an entire decade of film because you don't like the film grain.
Yes, I will agree with you that I should not. However, I feel like I've seen most of the good movies from the 70s that I can be like, that era of filmmaking is just not for me. And
I can get behind that, but that's not what you said. That's not what you said. I can get behind slapstick comedies, not for me, but that's not what you said. I mean, you did say that, but you said that shitty movies come out in the 70s or whatever. I can't remember exactly. It's recorded.
Kramer versus Kramer. Have you seen that?
Nope.
I haven't either, but they talked about it in several episodes of Seinfeld. And I just there's, I don't know. I think today, with there being such a like you said, saturation of film across all mediums, that it's, I mean, I don't blame, like, my 16-year-old daughter loves watching movies.
Yeah.
She will, unless I put it on in front of her, she's not going to go out of her way to find a movie from the 70s. She's just not, unless she's being told, hey, you need to watch this great movie from the 70s. She's not venturing to the 70s era of filmmaking and being like, ooh, let me pick between Kramer versus Kramer and the Aristocats, right? Those are two movies that are up on my computer right now because they're both made in the 70s. But
I was thinking, remember when we watched The Wicker Man? And
yes.
We watched that shitty Nick Cage version. And I took it upon myself to go back and watch the original Wicker Man from 1973. And it's vastly superior. It smashes that other one to bits. It's not even close.
Yeah, and there's stuff like that. Like, and I'll go back to the
Star Wars. Star Wars. I mean, there are very few films, if any, that have the cachet that Star Wars does.
Right. But you just named one of film's most iconic movies. And so I guess what I'm saying is that, like,
Harry.
This year alone, 2025, you can probably go in 10 movies deep, 15 movies deep, and be like, these are legitimately great movies. We haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen all of them. But by the end of this year, there's probably, 10 to 15 movies that if we watched them, we'd be like, oh, that's a great movie. I don't think you could go back to the 70s and say in a given year you were getting 10 to 15 great movies. And so that's why, like, each year probably had one or two, maybe. And so in the 70s, no, but in the 70s you could identify the great movies ahead of time, or everybody
'Cause
could
you
be
were
like, oh,
alive,
yep, that no,
you're there reading the newspapers.
you were though.
Huh? I wasn't either. So,
But no, I'm just saying, like, and we're so off topic here, but it's
well, we're not going to talk about the movie because it's pissing me off. That's why.
I named what I liked about it. I named what I liked. It's largely not for me, and I'm not going out of my way. I feel like I've gone out of my way to watch the more well-known good to great movies from the 70s that I don't need to go back and be like, let me dive into the stuff that wasn't as good. It's because it just pissed me off. I would get mad at myself for doing that. I'd be like, why the fuck I waste time doing this shit? When I know ahead of time, hey, this movie's probably not good. And, and you can venture into the 80s, and it's getting a little bit, more and more movies are coming out in the 80s. And the 90s, we're getting saturated more. And so by the time we're at today, there's movies that came out 2 years ago that are so buried and so forgotten that I feel bad. Is because people put effort, time, and heart into making a film, and it got seen by handful of people and is long gone now, and that sucks. That's more of a 30,000 foot view of content consuming, but it's the age we're in.
So, but at the end of the day, you recommend Black Dynamite?
No,
I
don't.
I love Black Dynamite. You seem like a dick shrinking motherfucker. That's what I've got to say. That's how I feel about this situation.
Who's that? Little Richard.
Anaconda malt liquor gives you.
What's the world's largest snake? And the old lady keeps answering. And Black Dynamite's getting pissed off. He's like, lady, let me ask these questions. Oh, anyways, all right, we're going into the last episode of the year, and I feel like we got to go out on a high note, positive, where we're both gonna enjoy it. We're gonna sit back, we're gonna kick back, we're gonna watch some popcorn, right?
Okay. I'm
I
not
feel like
sure
we just,
I like where this is going, because last time you
we
picked
just
a
got
popcorn movie, it was Michael Bay, and it fucking sucked. But okay.
Oh God, did you just read my mind? Because we're gonna watch a movie from
Oh no,
1996 that stars Bokeem, what's his face?
Yep.
Bokeem Woodbine, who's also in this movie. But it's directed by Michael Bay, and we're gonna watch. It also stars Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, Ed Harris.
Okay, all right.
We're gonna watch The Rock.
Yeah, it is crazy that I did call Michael Bay, didn't I?
You did. So we're once again going to venture into the popcorn realm. Highly enjoyable.
I will watch The Rock again. This is Michael Bay's probably finest film.
We are just going to go out on this high note. We're not going to think about nothing. We're just going to sit back and watch Nicolas Cage try to save the planet with Sean Connery. And now I will say there's moments in this movie that get a little tear.
Are we going to feel things? Is what we're saying?
We might. But anyways, so we're gonna watch. Join us next week as we watch The Rock
for the season finale of the 1
season...
degree of pooperation.
So make sure you come with your top 5 films from this year and your bottom 5.
The bottom 5's, I already know one of which of them's going to be on there. Rhymes with Schmerteen Schmowers.
Jeff, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me.
Wait.
Oh,
Wait. If you want to follow the podcast, You can find us. You know what? Just tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, check this
I
out.
fucked it
You
up.
can
I
go to
fucked it up.
my website that doesn't exist. You could go there, but you could also check out chronologically wherever you get your podcast. That's it, really. I'm Jeffy Pods on fucking Letterboxd, and you can see. I don't review anything that I watch for a podcast until after it comes out for spoiler reasons, but anything I watch for myself, like I just watched my Super Ex-Girlfriend. It's a super mediocre film
Why?
because it was free on YouTube. That's like
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Anyways, hit the subscribe button when it pops up if you're watching here on the YouTube, so you don't miss any future content that we have here. And if you want to follow the podcast on your favorite social media platforms, we're at Movie Draft House. You can find us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, right here on YouTube. So give us a like, follow, and subscribe. Jeff, any last words?
There's so many lines I could have prepared from this film to quote, and I forgot. Rest in peace, cream corn.